Good morning, travelers. Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm coming to you today, November 20th, 2016, pardon me, with a general reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and the messages will not resonate with everyone, in which case check back to your Moon and Rising sign as it is posted. I would like to thank those of you who've been very, very patient with me for getting these readings out and anything else that's going on. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. My website is making me crazy. Um, there's a few glitches, and I'm not sure if it's me or if it's the new hosting company. Um, I'm trying to fix my little social media platform things that I've got going on. And by the way, I've created a private Facebook group. You can go to the About Box section. The link is there. Um, do know that if I will have to approve you to join. So do know if you send the request and you don't see it approved within the next 2 or 3 days, that it will be coming. I would like to welcome all of my new subscribers to the channel. Thank you so much for coming on board. All of my old subscribers, you guys are diehard. You are so awesome. You totally rock. I'm so ever humbled and grateful. Let's see. I think that's it. The big thing, the big news that we have, the 3 major transits. We are in the first full month, so to speak, of Jupiter in Libra. We have just had the full moon in Taurus. Neptune has gone direct today. It's stationed direct yesterday, but it has gone first day direct today. Now, because Neptune is a big outer planet, I would assume that it's going to take about a month for it to get up to full speed. Like Mercury is a small inner planet and it moves a lot faster. Its orbit is a lot faster. So before it slows down, we get 2 weeks of craziness. Then we go into the actual Mercury retrograde. And then once it stations, it comes back to direct motion. It takes about 2 weeks for it to get up to full speed. So things can be kind of out of place for about 7 weeks during a Mercury retrograde. That's, and that's a long time if you think about it. So Neptune rules, it's the higher octave of Pisces. It rules the higher love. It rules spirituality. It rules, it's about illusions, deceptions, about getting to the truth. And ideally, what should happen during a Neptune retrograde is that you have access to your intuition. But then you may tend to question what it is your intuition is telling you. That's the confusion part. Am I being delusional that I heard what I heard, or I saw what I saw, or that I feel what I feel? Or is someone, pulling the wool over my eyes? So that typically equates to a kind of a timeout so that you can work on some things within yourself. Well, now that's going to go forward. So hopefully if you've been doing the work, we're going to be okay moving forward. Not having all of the answers, but some of the answers. And that's all we can do. Yeah. And then we have the new moon in Sagittarius coming up on November 29th. Sagittarius rules the 10th house. And Sagittarius is all about higher education. It is about travel, world travel. It is, if not world travel, but then just simply traveling. It is about different cultures, foreigners. It is the sign of the guru. So this, again, it's spirituality, philosophy, and religions, and groups. Okay, it rules groups, like friendships. What kind of groups do you belong to? But typically these are groups that have some type of charitable or philanthropic kind of slant to it, or it could simply be that you have a very, very eclectic group of friends, okay? Because some people, even though they may be born here in the States, maybe Americans, are still kind of foreigners. So because they don't necessarily fit the idea of what, normal society says that we should. So anyway, I did some pre-shuffling, and the card that has come out is the Sun card. And so we do know that this is the giver. This is one of the luminaries of light, and it does rule the sign of Leo. So we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the cards down. Oh, yes. Now, this is a general reading, as I said. So, the messages will not resonate with everybody. There's millions of Leo people, sun, moon, and rising, with lots of Leo factors in their chart. So in order to get more clarity on your situation will require a personal reading. So you can always click on the little I up here in the right hand corner. That'll take you directly over to the website. Now, it's a two-step process. If you go to book a reading, you have to scroll down to the bottom of the page and there's the form, okay? So you have to submit the payment and the form. I have figured out a way to make that all one process, but I'm working on it. Somebody booked a reading yesterday and I didn't get the form. As I said, I don't know if it's the website, me, or if it's the hosting company. So if you book with me and I send you back an email saying, hey, I didn't get the form, that lets me know it's not working, and then we'll work it out from there, okay? So just please kind of bear with me on that. Now, what else was I about to say? Oh, yeah. So take what you can from this reading and disregard what you cannot, because it's not going to resonate with everybody. All right. First card down is the Sun card. Let's put another good rifle. Time for a new deck. I'm going to burn this one on the new moon. That's what I do with my old decks. I burn them and release the energy back. Anyway. Aha. The Eight of Cups. Well, the 10 of Coins. The 7 of Coins. And there's the Leo card smack in the middle. The Strength. The Queen of Pentacles. The 5 of Swords. The 4 of Swords. This card has been coming up. This one and the 7 of Swords has been coming up in almost every single reading. And the Queen of Cups. Well, well, well. With the Devil underneath. Well, let's take a look. Wow. Okay, for those of you who are new to my channel, the tarot is broken up into two separate parts. The first, the original deck, let's say 78 cards, those were based on a regular playing deck of cards. But then along the way, somebody put in 22, what are known as major arcana. Okay? And the major arcana, there's 22 of them, and they represent the arc of human life, some of the challenges that we face along the way. But they also represent the arc of spiritual development and growth. Okay? Because really, the only real reason that we are here is to learn, to have experiences that will help us to grow spiritually. Okay? That's really why we're here. At least that's my belief. Y'all can believe what you want to believe. Now, I have, what I was saying about the major arcana is that they hold more sway over what are known as the pip cards. These are our court cards, which would be our queens, pages, knights, kings, and, you know, any of the regular numbered cards. Right off the bat, I have 2 8s. Okay. Now, 2 8s, there's 2 meanings to the 2 8s. On the one hand, in terms of romance, 2 8s mean that you're going to receive news that affects a relationship. Boom. Jupiter and Libra, and I'm going to explain that in a second. But it could also be that you have a concern about a new relationship, possible concern about a new relationship, well, or concern about a new relationship. I can't even say it. It's a new relationship. It's possible, but you got some concerns over it. Okay. Just put it right there. Now, Jupiter in Libra. We just went into this transit September 10th. Each sign gets to host Jupiter every 12 years. Okay. Some of you will be going through your first Jupiter return or your second, because the first one don't even really matter because you're 12 at the time. Okay. So your second one will be around the ages of 24 to maybe 26, something like that, depending on where you fall. And then you got your third and your fourth. And Jupiter comes in, it's the great benefic. So it comes in to bring you a whole new bunch of opportunities. But because it falls in the sign of Libra, Libra is on the 7th house. That's known as the house of marriage, partnerships, or open enemies. And I've been seeing this theme throughout all of the readings, even the open readings and the personal readings. We're really looking at a reset on relationships here. all manner of partnerships, not just marriages, not just shacking up. We're talking about business partnerships, family partnerships, group partnerships, friendship partnerships. And more importantly, we're talking about the partnership that you have with yourself, because it opposes the first house, which is the house of self, the house of Aries. So this could be about either finding that person that really compliments you, okay, or leaving a relationship or a partnership, whatever manner that means, or readjusting it to find the balance in it, okay, so that everybody can benefit from it. Now, I would say in one respect that this is very true, because I have the Ten of Pentacles here, and this is the card of generational money, inheritances, lottery wins, trusts. It implies that there's a group of people that you've been around that you trust, okay? And there's enough things built up over time that you can share it. Everybody participates in it, okay? In the center, I have this 8 of this Leo card. And Leo rules the 5th house, so that's the house of romance and children and having fun. This card is also about taking a risk. It is about being able to harness the wild side of yourself, harness it to actually get something done. I don't know if that really makes any sense, but it also rules the house of children. So for some of you, I do see that this is a possible issue surrounding children here. See that? Got the baby there. Way over there in that little corner. There's that little kid in the corner there. I have the cups sitting prominently here and a Queen of Cups down here. And I have these 2 queens. So whether this is same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the female, but also know that as male and females, we all have the capacity to have both masculine and feminine energies, reactions, behaviors, what we think, yada, 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 at different times. That is the balance. Again, Libra, okay? This card is also about taking a risk. Now, for some of you, you may have decided that it's time for you to join forces. Maybe you want to get married. Maybe the single life has been fun. I've been riding buck naked on the back of a horse, waving my banner. Hey, everybody, look at me. Okay. And now we see that that no longer works for you. Okay. So we're walking away from the things that, used to make us feel good. Why? Because they no longer serve our purpose. They're no longer helping us along our journey. What strikes me the most about this card is that the person just walks away in the middle of the night. They don't even take anything with them. Okay. To me, the red cloak signifies that this is someone who has a real desire to find something that is more meaningful to them. Now, this moon card, this moon in this is the only eclipsed moon that's represented in the tarot. So we could say this may go back to the solar eclipse of September 1st, I believe it was, or 2nd, somewhere along in there. But it could also be representative of the penumbral eclipse that we had on September 16th. Why? Because I got the 2 aces. I mean, the 2 8s. Okay. So I would think in one respect, there's something that has come about surrounding the eclipses, and eclipses are very, very powerful. But we can see that this individual is not, in one sense, walking away from, they're walking into what I think, wanting some type of security or some type of sense of belonging, or wanting to walk into something that they feel is going to, quote unquote, stand the test of time. The reason why I say that is because we have 3 cards in the tarot that represent forces that affect everybody. That's the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, so this is something heartfelt, and I think someone who's going to be quite ambitious in trying to get this. Maybe this is what we're looking at. But now, I can also see that we've got some illumination on things that we've already built up. Okay, things that we have done, we have tended, and maybe this is you. Maybe you've been single and all you've been doing is working. Okay, all you've been doing is working and you've been putting away your little nest eggs here. Well, now something new, a new element has been introduced, and we're trying to figure out what it is that we're going to do with it. What can we do with it? Should we do anything at all with it? This is about being patient and waiting for your crop to come to fruition. Okay. But this has brought about some changes. Now, this is a 5, and 5s in the tarot represent group dynamics. In other words, typically it represents forces that come in outside of our control and kind of change things. This speaks to me of some kind of argument, of fighting over something. As you can see, that person has taken the swords of these two people, and those people are walking off crying. Now, this could literally be a third person that's come into the relationship. I do have these two queens here. Okay. If this is a work situation, this could even be finding out that you're about to have a baby, and suddenly, what am I going to do with that? And now there's a whole bunch of dissension. Maybe people trying to tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You're fighting with someone over it. This card is the kind of what I call the pick your battles card, because really typically there's no winners in this. We can simply be trying to force our own ideas. And that's what the swords are about. They're about ideas, beliefs, perceptions, communications, not only the communications that we have with other people, but with ourselves. But we can see that, there's been arguments here due to something coming in that affects everybody. All right. This new element here. Moving across from here, I can see that for some of you, this may really have been about building more financial wealth, perhaps for your family. And now there's another choice coming in. Well, I've already built all of this up. Here I got some more stuff. That's like 17, 16 stinking pentacles. Well, here's a 17th one coming in. So let me buckle down. Let me buckle down and stop all that partying and hanging out with people that don't mean me no good, and get my house in order. Okay, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to walk away from whatever those things are that were before and take a risk. Why? Because I'm looking to really, really build myself up some security here. I want to be in a particular place. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is typically representative of an earth sign. So even though this is for Leo, we're going to talk about the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. And she's typically someone who is has a love for, little animals. She gardens. She's into ecology and recycling, the environment. This could even be representative of the type of work that you do. Maybe you work in, you have a lot of, you sell a lot of products. You handle a lot of money. Maybe accounts, because she's good at being accounting. Okay, but this could also be speaking about. I'm kind of trying to see, because this is indicative of, and this sits in this 5 of Swords sits in a very, very important place. It is the last card down on the past vertical column, but the first card out on the future row. Okay. Now, I'm kind of puzzled as to why I have these two queens in the future row. So for some of you, if this is same sex, maybe this is an earth sign and a water sign. Maybe you having to choose between these two people. That new element that has come in. Because we see there's 3 people here. Trying to decide which one of these people is going to perhaps help you get to this 10 of Pentacles that sits at the top here. But this could also be the aspect of 2 aspects of the same person. So if I'm trying to see what this is telling me, because the energy is in one sense decidedly feminine. There's not a lot of masculine energy here. And I say that because of the number of quote unquote male figures in the card. This could also be you being in a financial position to support other people in endeavors in some way. And you're doing it because, you have a big heart. All right. It could be that. Anything is possible within the tarot. But what I see on this bottom row is there has been an argument, and we see that someone has walked away. They're hoping to walk into, I would assume, I mean, really, those are really two positive cards. So I'm wondering why someone would walk away. It's been illuminated that they need to walk away from something. And whatever that something is, it's this Five of Swords here. And the Four of Swords, as I was telling you, represents Jupiter and Libra. So this is about partnerships. This could be about you wanting to leave your job to do something else. This could be about you wanting to leave your job because now you feel that it's time for you to have children. You want a family. This could be about you deciding, you know what, I really don't want to have a family. I want to continue to work and do good work so I can do things. Why? Because it means a lot to me. It's an altruistic kind of a thing. But this Four of Swords tells me that this is a time after the fighting. Okay, this is about withdrawing from a situation. Remember I was saying pick your battles, because this is really like a battle that there's no winners in it. Well, now we've withdrawn ourselves from that situation. Why? Because we want to think about it. We've got to put our swords down. And this could be you're not talking to anybody. There's no contact whatsoever. But what you're really doing is you are retreating so that you can really, really figure out what your next steps are. And this could also be what the Strength card is saying, because it takes a lot more strength to withdraw from a negative situation than it does to engage in it. That's the ego. Okay, the Strength with the Sun card. That could be your ego talking. Maybe you want to prove that you are right, or prove that you have the upper hand. But then we lead into this Queen of Cups here. And in one respect, I'm getting the message that, yes, that's something very wonderful. But then I can see the other messages. It's like, here I have all of these things built up. Maybe I've devoted a lot of time to that. I've done things that I've had to not necessarily sacrifice, even though sometimes that's the way I read that card. It's like I'm sacrificing, but you're doing it on your own. I've sacrificed some things that I wanted for myself. Well, now I can't do that anymore. Maybe someone's expecting you to continue to perhaps support them in some way, shape, or form. And you're coming to the realization that shit just don't work for me. Okay? Not anymore. It's being illuminated here. And there's been arguments, so you've taken the time out. But interestingly, it ends with the Devil. And again, I have this imagery of, let's say, 3 people in a situation. But the Devil is about limitations and restrictions. It can be about addictions. It can be about karmic relationships. It can be fears. It represents some type of restrictions in terms of you not feeling as though you can either do what you want to do or be free to be who you are. Remember, I was talking about the partnership of self. Okay? Sometimes we assume maybe that other people are trying to control us, or they've got us locked in place. Well, I always say, if the person don't literally have you locked and chained up in the basement or some crap like that, you can walk away. It's a matter of how you choose, but maybe you don't because you're afraid to. So it represents some belief that you can't get away or you can't get out of something. For some of you, this could be a marriage. Some type of relationship. Maybe your family's got a stranglehold on you. Every time you look around, they got their hand held out. Maybe this is your friends. Maybe you got those kind of friends you never hear from unless they need something from you. In which case, that's some kind of karmic issue that you yourself, because you can't say no. Okay? No is very easy to say. And you don't have to care if anybody else likes it. So, this could be you struggling perhaps with addictions. Maybe you gamble. Maybe you drink. Maybe you always pick the wrong partner. Maybe you have a fear of joining with someone. These are all limitations and restrictions, but 9 times out of 10, in a sense, other people do have a role in that. But again, it's how you react to it. So let's take a look. I want to look at first what this Eight of Cups is telling me. And the next logical step in the sequence of cards after the Eight of Cups is the Nine. In other words, it's about being able to walk away from something in order to really chase after what your dream is, what you wish for the most. And I can say for some of you, that's this. But this is a 10 and it's going to turn into a 1. It's an ace. So it's going to be a new opportunity. In effect, it looks like that's the ace at the foot of this guy here. So maybe you're going to have to take some losses, okay, in order to move forward through this energy. But I can see that it's going to create a lot of havoc here and some arguments. The two queens. That's what perplexes me. 10 down to a 7 over to the queen. Then I have the Sun over the Queen of Pentacles to the 5. For some of you, maybe you have gotten a new position and there may be some discord within your work environment. I don't see any wands here. But it definitely is something that is creating some strife. But the strife is from outside sources. So you could be fighting about stuff in your home that really has nothing. It's like, you know, the argument over the toast being burnt is really not about the toast being burnt. Okay? That could just be the thing that makes the fight start. But that's not really what the argument is all about. Come on, Sabilas, do your job. Let's see. I want to take a look at this Eight of Cups. Then I want to take a look at this Five of Swords. Now, typically, we look at the quote-unquote negative cards first. But, you know, Saturn in Pisces is also about restrictions. Why? Because Saturn rules Capricorn. This is Capricorn, okay? And Saturn is all about the building of those structures. Sometimes you have to walk away from things that really aren't helping you to move towards something that needs to stand the test of time. And that's what Saturn is, the Lord of Karma, and he is the Lord of Time. The Yardro, the thief, this is theft of goods or services. But then, you know, people can come in and steal your faith, your time, your hope, your belief, your love, your thoughts, your energy. People can steal all kinds of things from you. Dona de servicio, walking away from whatever this situation, it's been illuminated for you. This is a help. It could be that someone has been stealing your ability to help others. Like I said, it kind of reads like, you know, people wanting you to do, expecting you to take care of them. Again, the melancholia, well, yeah, this is why we're walking away, because that no longer serves us. This has been illuminated for us now. You know, it's never wrong to focus on yourself. It's never wrong. If you're not doing it from a narcissistic standpoint. See, she's staring at that cup like, you know, she's really only thinking about herself. And in that respect, if it's someone who's around you that's very, very narcissistic, know that that person's never going to change. Why? They don't have the capacity to understand where you're coming from. You can read about that in the DSMV. They talk about narcissistic personalities. So, you know, if you're dealing with someone who's a narcissist, please get away from them as fast as you can. Otherwise, it'll make you nuts. It'll destroy you. Don't do it. And what's, you know, funny about narcissists is that they can come in many different guises. We don't always recognize them right off the bat. I tell my kid, you know, there are monsters in the world. They don't look like Freddy Krueger and all of them on TV. They look just like us. And that makes it difficult for us to sometimes recognize a monster, quote unquote, when we see one. Her dad's like, why you be telling her all that stuff? Because look, I'm not going to be here to tell her this stuff later on. You know, I'm gonna have to give her a little street smarts as well. You know, be careful about the people you invite into your home, because it could literally be you're inviting the devil in. There's an old belief about vampires. They cannot come into your home until you invite them in, okay? And we know that there are psychic vampires, there are emotional vampires, there are people of all kinds who want to take from you, okay? They never want to give anything back, that they're not capable of it. Parasitic. Okay, 5 of Swords. I don't know why he keeps showing up. He's been showing up in everybody's spread. This is Namiko. But remember, I was telling you, this is either going to be about someone that you get along with very well, or it's going to become an open enemy. Okay. So here we have, remember I was talking about the ego and someone being narcissistic? Even though that's a female, what is a narcissist if it's not somebody who in their really wrapped up in their own feminine energies, because all they can think about is what best feels good to them. Okay. This is the card of vanity, arrogance, haughtiness, hubris. We can see that there's an argument here. This is the card of privacy and solitude. Okay. In other words, it's like even though you're arguing with that person, you're arguing with the wall. It's falling on deaf ears. That's also the card of communication. With this Il Nemico, this is the rival. This speaks to enemy. This is concealed hate and resentment. Well, look, that shit's being illuminated for you now. Whether you are male or female, if you recognize this situation, I think the cards are trying to tell you something. Now, I want to take a look at this Queen of Cups here. Typically, whenever this is our energy moving out of the spread, I just find it curious that they're sitting together on the same row. Happiness of the heart. Now, the Sibila has a distinction about the two different types of happiness. There's the happiness of the heart, and then there's the alegria, which is the, let's say, happiness or celebration with friends and family. So it kind of goes along with this person focusing on their own needs. Donati. Now, I'm looking at these pentacles here. So this could be someone who is really bent on, I guess, trying to accrue as much wealth as they possibly can, but they're doing it from a narcissistic standpoint. The Tower, the disgrazia, a misfortunate event. Now, if this is, and subtly, the cards are speaking to me, no matter what, it's a group dynamic. I'm looking at this family, this group of people here, and I'm looking at these 3 people here. I have these 2 queens. I have the 3 people here. It is a group dynamic in some way. The cards are not speaking to me clearly in terms of, yes, it's somebody cheating, it's somebody new coming in, it's a baby coming. That's not what they're saying to me. It's just telling me in a very, very subtle way that there are other people involved in this. I don't know if these 2 queens are main players or not. I would assume in one respect that they are, because they have presented themselves, but I'm not clear on how they fit together in this story. Let's look at the Four of Swords. This is taking a time out. Okay, and maybe that'll give us some indication. I'm definitely going to look at that Devil, because this is the overall energy of the spread for the month of December. It's this feeling of being stuck. I can't move. And this could have to do with, in some way, because I have these two swords down here, you know, the upcoming Mercury retrograde, and that's stretching it. That's really stretching it, people. But definitely there's some news coming, and there are concerns, the 2 8s, no matter how that plays out. The Pensiero, meditation and thought, taking time out. Speranza. Now, this is the card of hope. Okay, well, maybe we can get this situation right. But it can also speak to the card of, it could be about fear. It could be about waiting. Time out. The Devil. Restrictions, limitations, not being able to move, or at least believing that you can, or thinking that you can't. This is a karmic cycle here. So this could be for some of you, telling you that whatever changes, and I'm not seeing, except for this change here, this 5, that's the only change really that I see in terms of the numerology and what it represents. You see, this is a change, an actual change, but this is prompted by the way that you feel, or the way that you no longer feel. Okay, these are, we're either thinking about it, we've already done it, we told somebody we're going to do it, we've communicated that, maybe we've had an argument and we had to, you know. Remember I said there was news coming, and you're waiting. There it is. There it is. Now, because this is falling on Jupiter in Libra, and I just explained to you what that house means, this is literally, I think, going to be, whatever it is, it's going to involve legal issues. Why? The scales, they relate back to justice. I do feel that it's going to be dealing with paperwork of some sort. Some of you could be getting married. Some of you could be getting divorced. Some of you can be joining forces with business partners. Some of you may be writing up wills. Some of you may be getting news about things left to you from people. In that case, the Devil, just off the top of my head, is coming in to say, don't get caught up in your desires, and don't allow your fears to limit you from really what you can do. Watch those people around you. Let's take a look at what the Devil's trying to tell us. And as we look at these 3 cards here, I'm just going to show you. And for some of you, this energy is already begun to play out. For some of you, it's going to play all the way into the early part of January. The Il Nemico, the letter, the Disgrazia. Now, I keep telling you that subtly, I'm picking up that it's 3 people in a situation. This could be some news coming of someone wanting to get a divorce or split up. Something. Business, family, friendships. I keep telling you, the cards are very subtle sometimes, and you have to be extremely open to what it is they're trying to tell you. You have to be able to pick up the patterns. Even though you may not understand what the pattern, sometimes you see it, but it just doesn't make any sense. Now, let's see what this Devil card. This could be some of you not being able to get rid of an ex. Hell. Stalkerish. Viaggio. But the Viaggio is traveling back to the past. This could be the return of somebody, your nemesis. But a trip or visit. Or travel. Now, if this is not someone returning from your past, or you having to, it's the card of karma as well. So this could be literally um, you coming into a situation that you've already been in before. So in order to, you're going to have to travel to the past to see further into the future. That's Winston Churchill. The Mercante. Do I want to join forces? Because this could be a deal with the devil. And the Lamika on the devil card. I don't know what the hell that means. I do not know what that means, people. But that kind of spooked me right there. I don't know. Because, and the devil is not always a negative card. Sometimes the devil says that we have to do things that we normally wouldn't do, but we do it because it's fun, and maybe we should change, stop limiting ourselves, saying I'll never do that, or I'll never do this, or I'll never be with that kind of person. I'll never do. Sometimes you have to take a chance, take a risk. Okay. I still don't know what the hell those three cards mean. Because the Lamika represents a relationship of trust, a close friend. Again, the further in the past you go back, the farther into the future you will be able to see. Winston Churchill. And I'm paraphrasing, by the way. And it really kind of reads like somebody is saying, I've been through this before, but I want to take a risk and do it again. But I don't know if it's going to be doing a deal with the devil. Wow. One card, if nothing was answered in this spread. I forgot to do this for Cancer. My apologies, any Cancers that are watching this, moon and rising signs, or if you're dealing with a Leo individual. I think that, there's so many different scenarios going on with these cards. And this is something I just started seeing today. Up to that point, I was able to kind of pinpoint, or what the cards were speaking to me of, a perhaps particular situation, but this is more encompassing. It's not a message per se of individual situations. It is really something much larger. One card. This should say let go. I don't know what that means, but for somebody out there, you Leos, there you have it. All right, that's what I have for you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, namaste. Leo, I'm going to channel my inner fire marshal Bill. Let me show you something, neighbor. Okay. Man, I tell you what, Neptune direct working on a sister today, because I'm getting some clarity finally. I got these three cards out here. And I was just saying to you, the further back in time you travel, the further into the future you can see. This could literally be, and I can't talk. Please pay close attention. Oh my God. Okay. This could be about you either walking away from a situation where you felt like this. We did see that Il Nemico come out. Okay. This could be you being chained to somebody that really you shouldn't be chained to. Okay. You're thinking about perhaps staying with that person. In one way, you probably know that you should leave, but you're thinking about going ahead. This could also be about, it could be someone returning from your past, but it could also be about someone on the future horizon who may present to you, the situation may look exactly like the one you just got out of, okay, but it's not. where's that sun card? Remember, I was talking about the strength card. So the strength card can also be about getting in touch with that wild part of yourself. Maybe you haven't had sex in a long time. Okay. You've been foregoing sex because you've been working on other things. That sacrifice card there. Okay. And sometimes you would be surprised at how just getting into your body, whether that's through exercise or sex or eating right, doing something healthy for yourself, can give you a different outlook on things. Okay. Taking a chance. Now, what we're dealing with, the further back in time you go, okay, the further into the future you can see. Karma. And karma is all about your choices. That's the only way that karma is accrued. It's really about your choices. So you're being asked to face up to the choices of your past, but also to think about the choices of the future. So what could be presented to you in the future may look exactly like the thing you just got out of. However, it could be the key to free yourself. Okay? Why? Because you're going to take a risk. Okay? Neptune. I don't know what the hell I should do. Okay, it looks just the same. It feels the same. It smells the same. It tastes the same. But it's also the Lord of time, Saturn. He's the Lord of time as well. Remember that 10 of Pentacles I was saying, something that's going to stand the test of time. That message keeps coming through. So you may have to work with those limitations from your past and your past experiences and jump into something that looks the same, but it may not be the same. I don't think the card of let go was an accident. See, you may have to really let go of that past negative, narcissistic kind of relationship, really, in order to get to the place where you need to go. Well, that's going to require a risk. But you also may be required to jump into something that looks just like you left it, but it may not be. Okay? It may not be. So you're going to have to let go of those limitations around the past and the choices that you made in the past. Take a risk and jump into something else, because it really kind of what we're dealing with in the tarot. We're dealing with energies, and that statement of going back into the past to look to the future is really about looking along that time, that space-time continuum, that energetic continuum, okay, to get to the other side. Now, I don't know if you guys understood that, but that's I got up to rewarm myself some coffee, and that's the message that came through. So I felt it was important that I come back and bring that to you. Again, take your time with this. It's like I left that one situation, now something else has come up, but damn, is that going to be the same shit as it was before? Am I going to really be doing a deal with the devil? Well, it may not be, okay? It just may appear to be that way. So, and figure out what you need to let go. That's it. All right. Namaste.